Are distractions making homeschool a nightmare? And it's taking your children double the time to do the work that you know they can do in a short amount of time, and it's only because they're not focusing? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 strategies that can help your children refocus and stay on track with their homeschool day. Now, make sure that you stick until the end because I do have a bonus for you that you're not gonna be thinking about when you think of how can I make my child refocus. However, it is the thing that most people overlook. But first, let's clarify what exactly we mean by our child is not focused, because it could mean so many different things for different children. Now, I'm not talking about anyone that has been diagnosed with anything. I am not a doctor, so I'm not going to speak on that. I'm really just going to be talking about a child because I know we live it here, where I can see that something that should take my child maybe 15 minutes, we've been working on for about a half an hour. And it's not the fact that it's actually hard or that it's a new topic. It's something that they should know. It's just taking a lot longer because they're looking outside, or they're doodling, or they're taking their sweet old time to write the different letters, or they keep asking you questions that have absolutely nothing to do with the problem that they're doing. These are good indications that your child is not focused. And here's how you can wheel them back in. Number 1, you can get either a fidget spinner or a stress ball. We have fidget spinners in the house. We don't really use this that much, but we do have stress balls that, like this one here, you just squeeze and it actually says something. You can decide that you either want to give your child this stress ball or a fidget spinner while they're doing their work, or you're going to give them a little break and tell them, okay, you can play with this for 2 minutes and then I need you to recenter. That is really going to be up to you, and you know what's best for your child. If you have a child that you can give them that break where they're going to be completely distracted on something else for 2 minutes and then they'll be able to refocus, go ahead and do that. Or if you have a child that you know that they just need to be touching something while they're doing their work, then in that case, you can give them the fidget spinner or the stress ball while they're doing their work with the other hand. Now, number 2, you can incorporate some movement or some brain breaks. I recently did a video where I spoke about including movement into your homeschooling day. You could check out the video in the description, or I'll put it here somewhere. But including movement into the day is something that's going to help your children. Now, you can do this in 2 ways. You can decide, okay, we're going to do like recess in school, where you work on your subject and then you get a break. And that's where you can go do brain breaks that you find on YouTube, or you can do a workout, or you can just do a few exercises in the house. It's really up to you. Or you can decide that you want to incorporate movement into the actual lesson that you're doing. You can decide, hey, we're going to be working on language arts right now, but I'm going to make it interesting. Let's say you take a room and you have a child that is learning their sight words. Well, then you can put a sight word in that corner and then in that corner, and you tell them, go over there and read it, and then come back over here, and then go over there and read it, and then come back over here. So there's different ways that you can include movement. It's not just physical activities, it's just moving. And that way they get some endorphins going, they get to refocus, and they get to move their bodies at the same time. So it's a win-win for everybody. Number 3, you can decide to use sounds, music, or even headphones on the other end of the spectrum, if that's something that's going to help your children. Sometimes I put on, it's not white noise, but it's kind of like relaxing music for my daughter. And then sometimes she doesn't want it. My son usually has headphones on and he's listening to some, I don't know, he calls it music. I don't really call it music, but whatever. He's listening to things and it's helping him concentrate. Whereas sometimes he just has it on so he doesn't hear his younger sister screaming in the house. So really equipping your children with either music, sounds, you can put some brown noise, some white noise, anything that can help your children concentrate a little bit more. That is going to help them. Or give them some noise canceling headphones if they have a very loud younger sister, like in our household. Now, if you've been liking this video so far, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and then let me know in the comments, do your children lose their focus? And what exactly do you do to wheel them back in? Because sometimes we might need to do that. And then you can help out the other mom that's reading your comment. Number 4, you might not think, we have to think about the nutrition. Are they hungry? Because I know when I get hungry, I can't focus. So maybe they're hungry. Has it been a while since they had their meal? Have they been drinking water? Because water is actually something that's really, really important to keep your focus. You need to be hydrated throughout the day, or else you're just not going to be focused. And this is why I think it's so important to remember that we need to drink water throughout the day. I actually did a video on that where I spoke about the importance of staying hydrated. And then I also gave some tips on how you can drink water if you're someone like me and you don't really like drinking water. I'll put both of those videos in the description below. But it's really good to make sure that your children have water throughout the day to stay hydrated, but then also think about how much food are they having? What kind of food are they having? We all know that food is fuel for our body. It's fuel for our mind. So if we make sure that, they have a nutritious breakfast and that they have some snacks that aren't going to tire them down, or it's not going to be full of artificial sugars and then they're going to crash, then we're going to make sure that our children are equipped with everything possible to give them the energy and the focus that they need to work on whatever project that they're working on. So if ever you see that your child is, a little sluggish, think about it. Are they hungry? Maybe I should give them some grapes right now, or maybe they should have some water. That might help. Number 5, switch it up a little bit. This is where we just need to get out of the routine, because it could just be that they're bored. I know it's not you. I'm not talking about you, mom. You're not boring. But what they're doing could be boring. Because I know for me, sometimes when I look at their work, I'm like, this is not fun. All right, how are we going to make this interesting, right? But when it comes to children, they don't hide that. So if they're bored, they're not going to be able to focus on what they need to do. So this is why we can switch it up. Go outside if it's nice outside. Bring the work outside. I'm not an outdoorsy person, so I'm not going to tell you to take a blanket and go and sit down in the grass, because I wouldn't be doing that, because then there'll be a whole bunch of ants and bugs around me, and I'm just not doing that. But you can go and sit down on a bench. You can go for a walk while you're either listening to something or discussing something. If your child has an oral presentation to do for you, walk. You can take a walk and they can speak to you while you're taking that walk. So by switching it up a little bit and just not making it mundane, then your children are going to be like, wow, this is fun. This is cool. Let me refocus, because this is different. This is not the regular thing that we always do. Another thing with switching it up is you could decide maybe we need to start school earlier, or maybe we need to start school later, because there's some children, they just can't focus in the morning. Or there's some that they cannot focus past a certain amount of time that they've been up. So that's why you need to adjust. This is the joy of homeschooling. We get to do whatever is good for us and our family. Adapting your homeschool day and your homeschool schedule based on your child's needs and when they're more alert is something that is going to be so beneficial when it comes to them refocusing. Now, I did promise that there will be a last bonus tip at the end, and this is sleep. I know you might be wondering, okay, but yeah, my children sleep, but do they sleep enough? I know this is something that when children get older, and also depending on what kind of child it is, they might not actually like sleep. I know with my son, it's really difficult. We have to tell him, try to sleep in, try to sleep in. You wake up early, try to go back to sleep. It's not always easy, but if there's things that we can do to help them sleep better, having a dark room or putting some white or some brown noise or anything like that, that's going to help them have a really good sleep so that the next day they're not actually tired. Because it might not be that they're bored, they're just tired. So we could think, okay, what happened the day before? If you know that your child had a really tough day the day before, physically or mentally, and they didn't have a good sleep, I don't think that's the best day to choose to do a math situational problem. That wouldn't be my idea. So we need to make sure that we also keep in mind, how exactly did our children sleep? Are they rested? Are they actually able to do this homeschool day that we have planned based on the amount of sleep that they had? So overall, we know that sometimes our children are going to lose their focus. It's just like us. We lose focus sometimes. What they say, Our attention span is only 8 seconds or something. This is why everybody does shorts and all that kind of stuff right now. But it's the same thing for our children. So there are different things that we can do to help them to regain that focus and get back to the work so that they can finish their homeschool day and then go and do something else. Go and enjoy the rest of the day. Because this is the joy of homeschooling. We're not there all day long, but while we're doing the homeschooling, we do need to focus a little bit more. I heard on this video from a psychologist named Paul Jerkins, and he said children are extremely good at focusing. And I was like, what? And he said they're good at focusing on what they're interested in. So we need to figure out, okay, well, how do we switch that interest over to the homeschooling topic that they're working on? And as I mentioned in the video previously, movement is something that's going to be able to help your children to regain their focus, but you might not know how to include that into your homeschooling day. Well, check out this video here and you'll be able to see how exactly you could incorporate movement into your homeschooling day.